Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the podcast. This was on before because I thought, we'll get the LG background thing just going. Maybe that's better. God, I've been trying to set this up for a while, and I've kind of just started recording. I've been fiddling around with the audio a lot this time. As you can see, got the earphones in today. I'm monitoring the sound as it's going to try and negate any issues that arise. I've also tried something that I hope will dramatically improve the audio quality, which is like, I've turned down it to like minus 10 decibels while recording, so there's not a load of background noise, and I'm just getting a bit closer to the microphone. So I'm hoping that sounds better than it has before, although obviously with monitoring I can hear myself talk over, I'm hearing myself talk not just in my head as you as you usually do, because you can hear yourself talk, but I've also, on top of that, I'm hearing a slight echo of my voice as it's being recorded through the microphone. So bear with me, because it's a little odd. I tried to do it with Bluetooth headphones before, but there was a fucking delay, so it just made me it just was so impossible. But this, with wired earphones, it seems to be a bit better, and see, I can really hear that when that happens. So I'm hoping that it's going to be a little bit better. Maybe I need a pop filter, because pop and stuff. But we're not going to worry about that right now. I don't have too long to record this. I need to go in about an hour and a half to go see a pantomime, which Tallulah is in. I saw it last night. It is it's good. It's pantomime. I've got my 0% beer here, so cheers. It's Thursday. We're here, episode 8, I think. Fucking hell, bro. 9th vid on the channel, though. Or 10th, actually, if you count Asinine as my first. Which, I breathe a lot, man. I'm a bit of a sniffly breather. I'm trying my best to... Look, it's all a process. We're on episode 8, bro. We've got a while to go. I kind of like this setup a little bit more than the last one. You can see, obviously, TV. That's 4K. Would you believe it? I fucking wouldn't. Then we got the posters, the vinyls up there. Sports team insert, signed, new last name, Courting, Smitten, and then behind me another sports team album. It kind of looks amateurishly good, maybe amateurishly. I want it to look amateur in a fun way, but also I don't really care. I do care. That's a lie. I'm very anxious at the moment. I'm having a bad day, guys. I'm not, in terms of mental health, it's been a bit rough. I'm not gonna lie. I'm stressed about work all the time because I don't fucking have any. No one's giving me any work. That's the issues of being a freelancer. But so I thought I'd hop on the pod and just talk about some shit and hopefully take my mind off it a little bit, maybe focus on shit that I actually really like movies and games and stuff, and just try and relax a little bit, let's calm down. Let's have a fucking beer together and calm down, bro. So because I also tend to do this thing when I'm anxious about something, is I just run on about it, and that's not really the vibe. Can you hear those notifications? Because I fucking can, and they are loud. Okay, sorry, that breath was big. How do people do this? How do podcasters make their podcast not just breaths and sniffles of the nose? I'm bamboozled by it, frankly, and someone could tell me, because I'm lost completely. God, especially when you're by yourself. I suppose it's kind of easier when you're actually doing a podcast with someone, because you can, you sit there and go, yes. But because I'm here by myself, I don't have that. I don't have someone to bounce off. I have myself to bounce off and my opinions, which is a little sad. But then also, I like the freedom of being able to do it whenever I want and not having to rely on anyone else. Not that I have unreliable people in my life, but got the water on the go as well. You got to stay hydrated. I always do this. I realised I was watching back a few episodes, and I realised that I tend to ramble on a load, and then I don't really even get to the point until about like fucking 20 minutes in. So we're gonna get straight to the point. There's some movies that I mentioned that I had seen last episode, and I'm going to talk about them now. Because we talked about Begonia, No Country for Old Men, and The Shining last time. But I've watched like 4 more since then. So first off, I'll go in chronological order of when I watched them. I watched 28 Years Later last week. And I was a little bit annoyed because I didn't realise that it was supposed to be like part 1 of a trilogy. So the pacing was completely weird. I saw that. I watched it at home. I saw that there was cutting that out. Of course, no. I shouldn't talk after I burp, because the way I do it is like, I see like the long bit of no audio in the software, and then I'll be like, okay, I cut that out. But if I talk straight after it, I'm just gonna probably forget, because I'm like, let's be honest, guys, I'm not watching this through like after I record it, like 1 for 1. I'm going through it, but I'm not like going ooh, because that's just gonna take so long, and I'm not. It's not really. Oh, you could hear that a little bit, couldn't you? It's so. This is good. Sorry, we were talking about 28 Years Later. Yeah, it's supposed to be part 1 of 3 movies, which if I had known that, I probably would have been a little more forgiving over the ending, because I knew Jack O'Connell was in it, and I think he is fantastic at playing, like, a villain, especially in like a English countryside sense. I saw he was in Eden Lake, which I saw, and that was a lot of the time. I mean, I didn't love that. I heard good things about it, but I really didn't. Sorry about that. There's apparently like a harem of fucking foxes outside, just going at it. It's quite concerning. I don't know if you could hear that through the mic. Probably not, because I'm an excellent audio engineer, so this sounds really great. Although I'd so need a pop filter. Now I'm actually listening to myself talk. I've seen Jack O'Connell in Eden Lake, which he was great in. That film people love it, but I wasn't a big fan. I thought like there were some scenes in it which were really good, some scenes which really didn't make loads of sense and kind of I didn't love. But Jack O'Connell was definitely the highlight of that film for me. He does this like angsty. Obviously, he's not a teen anymore, so he's playing an adult in 28 years. But he just plays this. I suppose he is kind of typecast, but he does play that casting really well, being like the kind of charismatic, like bad guy, So I assume he's going to be a bad guy in 28 Years Later. You only saw him like briefly at the end of that movie, so it's hard to tell like where his character's going to go from there. But we'll find out. we'll find out. I think January 6th is when the next movie's releasing. But it was a really great movie, especially when you compare it to 28 Weeks Later, which was fucking awful. Sorry, God, that was so loud. It was bad. It was really not very good at all. Mainly just because it didn't make any sense. It wasn't directed by Danny Boyle. I don't know I doubt it was written by him. He wouldn't write such a piece of trash movie. It just didn't make any sense. There were plot holes throughout. And it just made it really hard to enjoy. You know, it made it was too, there's just too much unforgivable stuff. And it was just nothing, apart from like the first sequence in that movie. That's incredible. Obviously, I think everyone can agree on that. But generally, that movie just is not. It's not it really. 28 Years though is really good. It's really good. I think it was directed by Alex Garland, who I am a fan of. He did Warfare and Civil War. They're the two movies of his that I've seen, and he's one of my favorite directors because he has this directing style of. Like, he's not too, you know, I like a lot of directors like Yorgos Lanthimos, Ari Aster, Jordan Peele, who have this kind of style of like having like kind of metaphorical scenes, and it's a little bit surrealist, and it's not all meant to be taken literally, which is really great. Some of my favorite directors do that, like I just said, but Alex Garland is one of my favourite directors in the sense that he doesn't do that. He just tells a really great story from A to B, and there might be some like deeper thematic meaning, but you know, you can just watch the movie and understand like, okay, we're going from A and we're getting to B, and that's it. Like, and he does it in a really fantastic and engaging way that I haven't really seen before, and I think that probably has to do with some of the stories he's telling. Like, I find really engaging. Civil War was incredible because it was simple, man. Like, we knew within like the first, I don't know, like 20 minutes, like, you know, we're going to DC, we're gonna go interview the president or whatever, and I don't know, it's just really engaging. And Warfare, obviously, I have a lot to say about that film. But at its core, it is just a really entertaining, harrowing movie about just these people in a terrible, terrible situation and how they're dealing with it. It's not like fantastical, and because when you're watching a movie like that, you don't want, like, you know, sorry, I'm giving my fucking ear a good God, we're getting intimate, maybe too intimate. But no, Warfare, like, I mean, Alex Garland as a whole, he just does that, like, no, you could look for deeper meaning, but there's no, like, oh, what the fuck did he mean by that? Like, what is this literally happening in the movie, or is it kind of a metaphor for, like, a thematic reading of the story? And sometimes that's good, but sometimes you don't really want that. Do you know what I mean? It's good to have a mix of the two. So him directing, I was very interested in, and Danny Boyle is incredible as well. He wrote the first movie, which was 28 Days Later, which is great. He directed 127 hours. It's not called 127 Hours Later, is it? No, it can't be. It can't be called that, because that's like so similar to his. No, it's just called 127 Hours. Right? Yeah. Okay. That's a really great film, I think. That's fantastically directed. So those two, like, coming together was a real treat, I thought. And I was proven right. Yeah, it was Alex Garland at his finest. It was very A to B. There were definitely, maybe a little, there might have been it was probably a bit heavier on, like, the metaphorical thematic themes, a little heavier on the metaphorical themes than his other stuff, but it was very simple. It wasn't like too long. It was a good length, and like some of the kill shots when, I mean, it's not reinventing the wheel, but it's really good. Especially like the kill shots where it like does the, I'm not sure what the technique is called, where it's like kind of stop motion or like 360 panning around the kill. It looks really good and it fits really well, and the soundtrack is really fantastic. I'm kind of a sucker for like, you know, like the really low bass when there's like a foreboding like foe coming into shot, like when the alpha guy is coming into the train, it's like dong dong, like that just gets me like, I just it works really well, and for me at least, and that's like, it sets it up well for the next movie. I just want it now, though, I suppose. I really want to see more of this Jimmy character played by Jack O'Donnell, because he's so good, and I want to see how he was in it for a couple of minutes, mate. Probably not even that, like 30 seconds maybe. But he was incredible, and it was really cool to see him there, and I'm just really excited to see what comes next. But then the issue is with watching the first film without having the second and third film out, is that, like, obviously retroactively it can become worse depending on how those films go, because unfortunately that's just kind of the nature of like having a trilogy of films, because if the first one is great but then the second one isn't, then it's like, what if the first one, because it's not conclusive, it sets up the second film. So if you have a bad second film and the first film isn't conclusive, then it does ruin the first film. So I'm a little bit apprehensive, but we'll see. Because there are some like trilogies where you can take the first one, and it's like conclusive enough, and you can like kind of draw your own headcanons. But this one, nah, brother. But you've just introduced a new character, you know, Jimmy and the Jimmy Gang. So, also, guys, I'm not sure, is this like a reference to Jimmy Savile? Because they've all got like long blonde hair. They were all in like shitty, colourful tracksuits, and they were all called Jimmy in some way or another. So I don't really know. I don't know what that means. Does that mean something? Am I missing something? I don't know. But I'm excited for the second one. I'll probably go see it in cinemas this time instead of watching it at home. But because cinemas are great, support the arts. But that's about it. I suppose you could potentially argue that there wasn't really that much variety in like shots. Well, no, like shots, like in the environment. It's like all filmed in the British countryside, which you know, I don't think it overstays its welcome, and I think introducing like the Bowen Temple is really cool. But again, we'll have to see how the second one goes. And then next one we watched was one that I'd never heard of before, but my parents came to visit and my mum wanted to watch it, so we watched Nill by Mouth. You heard of this one, guys? It's a film, and it's a really good one, bro. It's about like a family living in a council estate in the mid-90s, I think, or maybe early 2000s. It might be, it's either the mid-2000s or the early 2000s or mid-90s. I was a bit apprehensive at the start because it has quite a long. Well, because it's just kind of like fellas talking in a pub and then talking at their flat about like the shit they've done, and it's like, oh, is this movie just gonna be me watching people tell stories? Because that's not really a movie, is it? Like, guys, oh my god, I've just realised the video has not been recording the whole fucking time. But you know what I'm gonna do? Not gonna worry about it, because I'm trying to be professional here, but at the end of the day, I just recorded for like quarter of an hour, 20 minutes maybe, and I'm not going to just say all of that stuff again for like 10 people, for maybe 10 people to watch like the first 2 seconds of. No one's watching this. This is for me, so that's fine. I'm just going to keep going. I'm going to start recording the video now, and then we're just going to put it in, and it's going to be fine. It's going to be a good time. As you can see, I was trying to explain the set earlier, but I'll just do that now quickly. We got the vinyls here. Sports Team is Courting, Smitten, another Sports Team album, and we've got non-alcoholic beer, glass of water. We're having a good time. I was talking about Nill by mouth. This is annoying. This actually, okay, this doesn't look too bad. Imagine if I had someone sat here and it was a bit out. That'd be good. This looks kind of okay, right? At least it. Let's hope this doesn't fucking corrupt, because we don't want to have one of those situations again. Although if it happens, whatever. Like, but you know, I'm glad I fucking noticed, because whoa, that would be really annoying. If I hadn't. I mean, it's still annoying. Sorry, I'm kind of stuck on this now. Yeah, no. Nill by mouth. It has this kind of, at the start especially, it's kind of this, yeah, it's, I get it now that I've seen the whole film, but at the start it kind of it felt a little bit like, what are we doing here? Like, where are we going with this? But you know what, it makes sense now. It doesn't necessarily have, you know, it doesn't really follow the, what's it called, the guy's pyramid or whatever, of like, you know, building action, rising action, and then, I mean, I suppose it does kind of, but it's a little more free form and kind of slice of life, kitchen sink-y, which I wasn't expecting, but I didn't mind in the end. The direction is super, it's comprised pretty much of just super close-up shots, and it kind of feels sickening a lot of the time, which I mean, it had to have been a intentional decision, but it's very jarring, but like purposefully so, and it feels like it feels wrong. It feels really wrong watching it, but like in a good way, perhaps. But you know, it's a tough watch, and not just because of the direction. There is you know, it's just about like abuse of like domestic and like of drugs, and it is, I suppose, like the actual the inciting incident doesn't really come until like probably over the halfway mark, in like a typical sense, like you are kind of just watching their life unfold, but like obviously there's the inciting incident where Kathy Burke's character just gets beaten up by her husband, and the fucking makeup they put on Kathy Burke afterwards is incredible. It is horrid to look at, and you really think like, oh my god, it's fucking horrendous, and it really works really well. It's definitely not like a movie for everyone, and the ending is quite sad, because it kind of just highlights the cycle of abuse, especially within, like, poorer communities, where you just can't fucking leave, really. So yeah, it's not it's not a cheery one. It's a rough watch, but it's a good watch. But you're not having loads of fun watching it. But and like I said, the direction is super like it's so close quarters. But it's really good. I really enjoyed it. I'm glad my mum wanted to watch it, of all things. It was like Gary Oldman. He's an actor, right? I don't know. Let me get a picture of Gary Oldman up. Gary Oldman. I feel like I should know who this guy is. What's he been in? Anything I would have actually watched? Is it Harry Potter? I haven't seen fucking Harry Potter. He's in like the dark, like the Batman stuff. I've not seen Batman either, so he was in more than one Harry Potter movie. So that's good. Famous guy, but he directed and wrote it, and it is great. And I just wish he'd done more, I think. But I don't know if he ever directed another movie again. Directed movies. Let's see if he directed anything else. Oh no, he did. He does have. What's this? No, Nill by Mouse was the only like. What's it called? Like non-fiction. No, fiction. Fictional story he's done. So that's. I wish we got more from him. Maybe he will do more. He's still alive, so we can hope, because it's just interesting. I like it when a director tries something else and commits so heavily to a certain style, which he did do with the super close-ups and uncomfortable nature of the direction. I think it worked really well. And the thing is, I see, like sometimes directors will try something like that, but don't really commit to it fully and just kind of do it. But then it's like, and it's like, okay, what are you even doing then? If you kind of did it, but then like didn't commit to it, it's like, what was actually kind of the point? Do you know what I mean? So that's that. And then what else did we watch? Cheers. We watched Together as well. That the one Duel starring Alison Brie and Dave Franco, and that was my feelings on that one are definitely more mixed than the other two movies we watched. One sec. Mainly because I'm not really sure what I was expecting from it, to be honest. I think I was expecting more horror, and it wasn't really a horror movie. I mean it was. It wasn't scary though. Do you know what I mean? Like the body horror when it was used was good. That like at the start, I forgot to say like complete spoilers for all of these fucking movies, except the last one, because I didn't actually watch the end, but we'll get to that. Yeah, the starting bit where like the dogs drink from the water and they're acting all funny, and then that shot of them, the reveal of them like molded into fucking good, and that like the lack of like soundtrack in that bit was phenomenal, and it really like it really created the sense of like and then it just cuts, like you don't get to see much of it. So it started off really well, and that bit of like body and like it's good like when you show restraint, especially when you do something as impressive as like that, making something like that, because it was a prop. Someone had made that. I don't know. It obviously wouldn't have been like a prosthetic, because I don't think you can do that to dogs, can you? So and it wasn't CG from what I could tell. So that scene, when you have someone working so hard to like make not a prosthetic, but like a puppet, maybe, I don't know what you'd even call it. When you have someone making something like that, and which obviously they're very talented, but then you only show it for a few seconds, it's like that's very good filmmaking in my opinion, because it kind of lends itself to this, like you're showing restraint. You've made something really good and really cool, but you're showing enough restraint to not over show your talent, and you're keeping it contained, which is really good, and I like it. And there isn't much body horror in it, honestly. There's one scene where Alison Brie gets her wrist cut like the bad way, the long way, and yeah, that was hard. That was a rough watch. I have a history with self-harm, so pretty tough. Honestly, it's probably like the worst bit, but there's another really cool bit where Dave Franco's gone back to this mine and he sees like these two people who were missing, and they're like really grossly molded together, and I'm pretty sure that was a practical effect as well, and it looks really good. I just didn't love it, honestly. Like the practical effects, the gore effects were really cool, but the ending was kind of sweet, because they like decided they actually did love each other, and they like blended into one. But then the ending was so goofy, honestly. Like having the two people like becoming one, and then they're like a bit of both. It is odd. It's odd. And I think like the best way to describe it is a good fun watch, but it's not gonna it's not a standout. It's not a must see. You could do a lot worse, but you could also do a lot better. But also sometimes you just want a fun watch, and it is a fun like body horror watch. But I just don't think it quite gets the tone right, because it was clearly going for this kind of like funny comedy horror thing, and instead of like, it doesn't really feel like they blended them. It kind of felt like they were bouncing from one to the other, and I personally didn't think it worked that well, if I'm being for real honest. But like I said, there are definitely worse watches out there. You could do a lot worse. Like the next film, I'm gonna go to the toilet quick, and then we'll talk about the next film. So the last movie we watched was Nosferatu, the recent remake, not the original. And hot take incoming, but I think you don't necessarily have to finish a film to be able to review it. Do you know what I mean? Or give your opinion on it. Because technically these are reviews, maybe. I'm as professional as anyone else. I'm as qualified as anyone else to review a movie. What credentials do you actually need to have watched movies before? I don't know. I did creative writing. I know how to tell a story at uni. I think that the cut-off point is if you get an hour into the movie and you still and you just don't think it's worth the rest of your time, then you can just stop watching it, I think. It depends how long. Obviously, if the movie's like an hour 30, then the cut-off point is sooner. But if it's like 2 hours, if you get like halfway through a movie, I think you can then be like, and that's what happened with Nosferatu. We got an hour in, and then it was like, is this... I was very hopeful, though. I was hopeful for it, and I was let down. It wasn't one that I necessarily wanted to watch. I didn't pick it, but I was, I'm happy to watch any movie. Like, especially now I've got this podcast, because I just like talking about anything. And I really like Nicholas Hoult. I think he's good, especially in... I haven't seen him in loads. He's obviously great in Skins. Fucking love Skins. Although I haven't watched Third Gen. She I hadn't seen Lily Rose Depp in anything, but I know she's a respected actor, so I was looking forward to seeing her or something. And they're not necessarily bad in it. I don't think they were given a load to work with, unfortunately, because it was a drag. I'm not gonna lie, it was a real drag. Like, which I thought was interesting because the setup was kind of like, okay, shit, like we're not really wasting any time. We see Lily Rose having a nightmare or something, and then we're straight into Nicholas Hoult going to work, and they're like, by the way, you gotta go to Transylvania and talk to fucking Nosferatu or whatever. And then we're off. We're off. He's off. Fucking Lily Rose Depp is with and Aaron Taylor Johnson and Emma Corrin. Because apparently a woman can't fucking look after herself. Whenever that's set. So our setup is like really good. Honestly, it's like you set it up so it's we know what's happening. He's going to like sell a house. I think maybe we don't know what's going on. And then he gets there and it's just like, oh, guys, this is dragging. Also I do think I'm just not that interested in like a classic vampire story. I've never seen the classic Nosferatu. And I don't particularly know what makes it so special. Maybe it's something to do with it being like one of the first proper like feature films ever made. Was it the first, like... Should we look it up quick? Let's look it up. I'm going to try and keep talking while I'm looking it up. Nosferatu. How do you even... No, 1922. That has to be, like, pretty old. I mean, that is old, but, I swear it was, like, one of the... Oh. I swear I can't remember, but I swear it was like there was something quite what. I can hear a fucking police car through the fucking microphone. Yeah, I can't remember. It was like definitely revolutionary for some reason, and maybe obviously that holds some merit because perhaps filmmaking wouldn't be the same without the classic. But I'm not talking about the classic. I haven't seen that film. I have seen the remake, and I don't think it's very good. I just don't think it's paced very well. I think you get to the... Nicholas Hoult gets to the castle, and it's kind of like... we're chatting. Count Orlok is a weird guy. And then we're kind of like hanging out, and then like shit starts going wrong. He tries to kill Count Orlok, I think. But it's just dull. I don't know. But also, I'm not sure I'm a great person to review this because I just don't particularly care for... like I said, I don't particularly care for... Can we turn on, please, maybe? There we go. I don't particularly care for vampires. Is he a vampire? Or like that... classic literature, not literature, classic cinema. I can appreciate it, but I don't think necessarily the storytelling was what it is today. Do you know what I mean? It's not... I don't know. I just thought it was... Guys, I'm gonna be honest. I thought it was fucking dull as shit, and I wasn't a fan. I wasn't a fan at all. But obviously, because I didn't see it through to the end, I don't have loads to say about it. There was just nothing that stood out. But There's worse, probably, especially if you're... I mean, if you're interested in Nosferatu, like the story, then it probably is good. You probably would find enjoyment out of it, but when it's like when it's something that is just kind of like, I don't know. I'm excited to see the new... I know I said I don't, particularly love classic cinema, but I am interested in seeing the new Frankenstein remake, especially as Jacob Elordi as Frankenstein's monster. That's going to be really interesting, because he's obviously supposed to be a hot guy, which he is. So it's interesting that he's taken that role, and I want to see how he does in it. And I love Mia Goth playing a dual role again, which I think is interesting. She's fantastic, and I love Oscar Isaac. So it's a good cast. We'll see. Maybe we'll watch that soon, and I'll talk about it next on the next episode. But that's all the films. But I'm having a good time, guys. Are we hanging out? Are we hanging out here? Because I'm having a good time hanging out. So let's move on to something else, guys. Games. Me and Tallulah have been playing split-screen multiplayer Stardew Valley recently, and it's a good game, man. It's a really good game. Honestly, I was thinking about it the other day, and it's like, maybe it's perfect. Because I don't even know what else you could do for that kind of game in order to make it any better. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like very expansive. There's a lot to do, and there's a lot of people to talk to and build relationships with, and it's just building off this foundation that Harvest Moon set, and it just makes it better in every way. So it's obviously slow paced, and it would not be for everyone, but for the people that it is really good. And if you like a slower paced game where you can kind of do things at your own pace, so I suppose it can be a bit faster paced if you are so inclined, but it's a really fun time. It's a really fun time, and it's just a chill game. We've played so much of it though, and I'm a little bit burnt out, guys, I'm not gonna lie, but it's really good. I would recommend it, single player, because I've played it single player too, so single player or otherwise. It is a good game. It's good fun. Obviously, like, not so much if you're into like a high octane experience, because this one is a slower burn for sure. You're not going to be running around the battlefield shooting people. Talking of Battlefield, I have not played any Battlefield since we last talked, which is just interesting, because I remember when I recorded the episode 1 of this, I talked for a bit about how excited I was about that game, but I haven't played it in a while, and honestly, I think I said this before, but like I feel like I've been so naive, because I really thought that this was going to be like a full return to form, but it really wasn't in the end. It's just another... I should have seen the signs, honestly, because there were signs that it was not going to be what I thought it was. The UI from day one kind of implied this... Honestly, it's genuinely kind of like a Robloxification of games, the UI at least. And it's very similar to Fortnite, which is very similar to Roblox, and obviously Call of Duty and Battlefield aren't quite there yet, but they seem to be... Well, COD seems to be copying Fortnite, and Battlefield seems to be copying COD, and Fortnite kind of is turning into Roblox. So do you see the pipeline that I'm talking about, So I just feel kind of naive to have assumed it would be any different, honestly. And that's a shame. It really is a shame, because the gameplay is really good, but cut that one out. The gameplay is really good. Red Stack is pretty fun. I played it when that launched a bit, but it's I don't know. I just don't think you can. I don't think it's very moral to charge full price for a game now, which is £70, and then ask for additional like £10 every season. You know, I don't think we should be charging a subscription for like the battle pass. In a free game like Fortnite, it works because the player, you know, it's like, oh, I like this game and it's free. I haven't spent any money on it. Like, and it works for Skate 2 even. Skate 4 too. It works also for Skate, because that's a free game, and that obviously that again has its own plethora of issues. But I'm generally much more forgiving because I just like it more. It's more, I don't know. It's more chilled. I'm better at it. I just don't care for this. It's just Battlefield's too. It's too much, man. And like the gameplay is fun, but it's like, like I just don't have. I don't have the mental fortitude to sit there and like really get good at it, you know. But obviously some people do. Oh, we've moved a little bit. Oh, okay. Obviously some people do, and that's good for them. But God, this isn't fucking working, is it? And that's good for them, but that's not gonna fucking. I'm just gonna have to sit forward. It looked good. Don't mess with a good thing. Yeah, I haven't played it, so I don't really know. I don't know when the next season's dropping. I haven't even played. They released a new map which I haven't even played. I didn't really care for any of the criticism people were giving it, honestly. Like maps being too small. I don't necessarily think that was the case. It was a different style, but you know, fucking Battlefield could be a slog sometimes. Sometimes you could go like almost a whole game without seeing anyone. It's just getting fucking sniped across the map. So I don't mind the change of pace too much, but I just haven't been interested in playing it. It's there. It's on my. Obviously, I've got it downloaded. I'm keeping it updated. It's something I'll probably go back to eventually, but as of now, it's just not of interest to me, I suppose. But something that is Skate. Season 2 dropped a couple of days ago, and I bought the season pass. The Skate Pass. My thinking was like, God, I've got 100 hours in this game already. I'm a little bit dubious because I've seen the player count and it's not looking good. So I'm a little worried about the longevity of that game and if it's going to be around long term. I fucking hope it is. I really do love it. I'm not ignorant to the criticisms though. I can understand why people don't like it. Because, you know, it's you know, it does feel a bit corporate and it does feel a bit bland sometimes, but like the core gameplay is just so fun. And I do like, especially with a game like Skate, I do like the live service model. It works. It really fucking works for that game because it's like, you know, you have new challenges to do every day. You have weekly challenges. There's always stuff to do unless you like play it for like 6 hours a day. And even then, you just wait till the next day and it's all refreshed. So I think it really works for a game like that, guys. I'm sorry. And I think the free-to-play model was a good idea. I played it for 100 hours before I paid any money towards it. It's good. It's really good, guys. I'm sorry. I love fucking Skate. Season 2 was a little bit. It just launched and like I was hopped on like half an hour after the update happened, and it was really buggy. It was really buggy. Like you do challenges, and they wouldn't update. It would crash, and it was like, oh fuck's sake. I've been looking forward to this drop with the new challenges and the new places to skate, and it's like, like, none of it's working. So I got, I stopped playing it. I was a bit salty about it, and then but then I honestly just gave it a few hours and I tried it later and I was like, okay, yeah, it's working again now. Like, it's fine. And it's good. The new places are fun to skate. The hand plants and impossibles work really well. Excuse me, just fingering my ear. That's horrid. That is horrid. I'm so sorry. But yeah, it's good. It's fun. It's just more skate. Obviously, some of the fucking stuff in the skate park looks abhorrent, but you got to please everyone. I'm kind of just a hoarder. I just want to have everything. So that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. If I'm using it or not, I just want it in my repertoire. But that's kind of it for the pod today. I think. Always stretching. I think that's kind of it for the pod. I think this one's going to be quite long. It might have broken an hour, perhaps. Probably not. Wait, how long are we here? 35 minutes. It's probably about an hour. A bit longer than the last one, because last one wasn't feeling great. I'm glad I talked to you guys, because I was feeling a bit down, and this has definitely it's built me up a little bit. It's made me feel a little bit better. So thank you for that. I'm enjoying this more than ever. I'm loving it, of course. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. And I'll see you shortly, man. I'll be watching some movies, and so I can talk about them soon. I think monitoring the audio while I'm recording is definitely the way to go, because I can hear myself. I hope this sounds better. We'll see. Obviously, I'm new to this, so we'll see. We'll figure it out along the way. We're only on episode 8, man. We can go up from here. So it would be nice to get like kind of like an actual like kind of little set somewhere. Have like. Because I'm moving around all the time, having like a consistent set would be really cool. But this isn't too bad. This is all right for now. So we'll see. But for now, thank you for tuning in to episode 8 of the things I'm enjoying now podcast, or talking about things I like podcast. And it's been fun. I love this. I love you. Oh, too far. I'm enjoying this a lot. TV's gone off. That's my cue. Thank you. And I'll see you next time. Farewell. Bye-bye. What the hell?